So this is like a bead. Obviously, there's a ton of different like pagan prayer beads and things of all different types. This is one that I came up with, but I feel like other people may have thought of the same thing. It's a pretty, uh, I don't know, basic kind of thing. But so I kind of have two screens. I don't know if you guys, if you're in full view, if you can see the actual beads on my little thing. So I'm just going to kind of go through and tell you what they are, and then we're actually going to go through the meditation. So let me tell you about the beads themselves. So they're designed to be like a full ritual just with yourself. Okay, so hey, Trell. Eileen, hi. So it's for when you don't have an altar, or you do, or you don't feel like getting it out, or maybe you just want to lay in bed and like do just a completely internal ritual meditation with yourself. So it goes through your basics of a ritual just through the beads, and it's designed so that you can just sort of hold them. I guess I'll hold them up here too. So you can just sort of hold them and you can just go through all of your pieces of ritual, go through your meditation, and then close out your ritual on the other end. So just like if you're familiar with praying the Rosary, which I feel like a lot of us are, my path to paganism came by way of Catholicism in the middle. So I've always really liked the whole pattern of praying around beads. Like it's just a thing that appealed to me, I guess. So the whole beads, and I'll go through them and then we'll actually go through it, but is yourself is here in your pentacle. So at this very beginning, the pinnacle is, a grounding and centering. It's to visualize clearing your energy. And if you want to just visualize in your head casting sacred space around yourself, that's all the first bead. And then the three beads here after the pinnacle are for the three aspects of deity. So you could just invoke, again, in yourself, because this is meditation, your goddess or hero god, like your mother god or hero god, and then your mother god or father god, and then crone or king, sage, whatever. Then the little spiral is for invoking your higher self. And if you were making these for yourself, you could pick whatever, bead you wanted to symbolize yourself. You could pick an animal bead for yourself or something like that. And then is when we start with all of the chakras. So each of the long stretches are each chakra. So you open, your root chakra, your sacral chakra, solar, heart, throat, third eye, crown. You go all the way up. And then it goes through each one of those with elements. So you invoke I have it backwards. You invoke earth, and then go through and flood each chakra with earth energy, and then invoke air and flood each chakra with air energy, and then fire, and then water. And you get through all of that, and then we're devoking, right? We're on the other side of a ritual. So you're devoking your higher self, you're thanking your deities, and then you're grounding and centering again. So it's kind of going through a little like mini thing. And it's nice to have something like in your hands, right? So I was going to go through it. So everybody get comfortable. I wanted to find some sort of music to play or something like this, but I don't actually have any, and everything is packed. So just awkward silence, I guess. All right. I kind of want to hold them. I didn't really think about how this was going to do on camera. It's so weird. I don't know how to do it on camera. We'll just do it like this. We'll leave our other one. Okay. So everybody take a minute to take some deep breaths and to ground and center and visualize yourself connecting with the earth, and just release any energy and prepare yourself. If you want to visualize casting a circle around you, you can. I like to just visualize one just appearing and just coming up. And you can choose your deity of choice. I like just to invoke Mother Goddess in all her forms to sit with me so I can go through just a daily preparation. Mother Goddess, be with me. I like to invoke Maiden Goddess, sit with me, and Crone Goddess to join me. I invoke my higher self to be present and do the work, and begin opening chakras. Open your root chakra and see it glowing. Inspect it for blockages and leave it alight. Just imagine that red light right in your root chakra. Move up to your sacral chakra, visualizing that glowing orange warm light, and inspect it for blockages and leave it alight. Move to your solar chakra, flooding it with that sun energy, and inspect it for blockages. And leave it alight. Then move to your heart chakra, which is green, glowing, warm. Everybody's always got a little blockages there. But just push that green light through it and move up into the heart chakra. Oops, throat chakra. I switch beads, but not words. And that blue. And inspect that for blockages and allow it to release. And then into your third eye, which is I guess indigo is the color they always say for that one. It's that deep bluish color. And release it. And into your crown. You come to the first elemental bead. So we invoke here the element of earth, and we want to think about our day and bring in that grounding and that stability. It's a good time to just think about roots. You've got all of your chakra lights aligned. Just think about roots, connecting all of them together. And start right back down at your root chakra. So you're going to take that red light just right at the base of your spine, and flood it with a green light if you see elemental energy in colors, or even abstract, like flooding it with leaves or grass or things like that, and just turn that into a ball of earth energy. Then move right up to the sacral, and change that ball from orange light into your earth energy light, or leaves, or whatever you want to visualize it as. Just flood that energy in. Then move up to the solar. Change that. Yellow. Right in to earth energy. Move up to your heart chakra. Heart chakra. Take that green, bright, glowing light and just flood it with that earth energy. And leave that picture in your head. So all of them are covered with earth energy below. And try to leave that image in your visualization. Change your next one. It's the throat chakra. Change your next one in your third eye. And the next one just above the crown of your head. I have specific visualizations that often come to me for each of these elemental energies. And I like to imagine a tree at the very end coming out of my crown with its roots just connecting all of those chakras straight down. We come to air. You invoke air energy. So again, think about your day. Think about a sky blue light. You can hover it in front of you and let all of those air energies come from it. You can affirm in your mind all the aspects of air that you're familiar with. You can call on each aspect: creativity, artisticness. If there's something that you need to talk about with someone today, it's a good time to focus on that. Think about your emotion, how you feel about that. And then start changing all of those chakra balls from their earth energy into air energy. So start with the root. You have your earth ball sitting there. And just brush it with gentle feathery energy of air. You can change it over into a golden light, or you can swirl it, clouds. You can imagine a little ball as if it contains the sky. Swirl that around. And just absorb that good air energy into your root chakra. Move to your sacral. And change that over. Flood it with your air. And move up to your solar. Flood that one with your air energy. And to your heart. Really get yourself a clear picture of each chakra zone, however you best visualize it when you're working with your own chakras, and flush it over. Move up to your throat. Throat chakra, very important with air energy. It will help you speak what you mean. Move up to your third eye. Just flush that out. And up to your crown. Clear it out. We get to the fire bead. You can invoke elemental fire. Imagine that fire energy around you. I like to sort of see a big burning ball. And just know that that big burning ball contains all the aspects of elemental fire. And call on those energies. Just bright passion, vitality, action, doing things. If you have a goal for today that you need to get done, something that is an action today, something you got to clean, something you got to go do, an errand, it's a good time to focus on that for a moment. Fire also is the cycles, birth and life and rebirth, purposeful destruction. You just take that ball of fire, that red light, if you'd rather, and push it into your root chakra, change it over from the cloudy air or the feathery air, and just burn that chakra up. You want to just completely change it over and move up to your sacral. Change it over just to fire. And up to your solar. Flood that chakra energy. And up to your heart. Very key chakra to flood with your fire energy. Heart chakra loves to absorb fire energy. I always find that it's nice to linger here. And leave the fire burning for a little longer. Move up to your throat. And into your third eye. And finally, change your crown chakra over and flood it with that ball of passion, fire energy. So you're completely aligned. All chakras burning, glowing with fire energy. Move to your next element. Last element is water. So we'll be invoking the cooling water, like you're stepping into a waterfall, and just ask that energy to come in, or a shower if you're less naturey. Okay, we're going to call upon these energies of water, the reacting, the adapting, sexuality, fertility, all those water aspects, cleansing. I mean, serenity. I mean, blue is calming, water is calming. And you want to flood, we're going to flood our bodies with that. Starting back down at the root chakra. So you're imagining a ball of water going in, and just let it calmly put out that ball of fire that you have in. Just let the water flow down on that ball of fire and just cool it off until it's a swirling little ball, like a little vortex of water. Then move up and do the same thing on your sacral. Move up to your solar. And just quench that chakra with as much water energy as you can. Up to your heart. And into your throat chakra. And once that's cleared, up to your third eye. And lastly, up to your crown. In your crown chakra, again, just imagine all of those chakras in a line, swirling with water, with blue light, whatever's comfortable for you for that element, completely cleared out. Now we're back to our spiral bead. So we're going to think about like turning off a light switch on each of the chakras you've opened. You don't want to leave each chakra open going through your day. That would probably be disastrous. So just like a light switch, go through. Let's flip off our root, flip off our sacral, our solar, our heart, our throat, our third eye, and our crown. On our spiral bead, we want to thank your higher self. Always thank your higher self for this short morning ritual. And let it go. Of course, you always want to be in communication with your higher self, but not so directly. Again, might be disastrous. Thank the mother goddess, the crone goddess, and our maiden goddess, or whatever deities you imagined when we were in that portion of the beads at the beginning. And just allow them to walk away from you if you're a visualizer, or just thank them in their head and let them go. And we come back down to our pinnacle. Always after doing any kind of energy work, large or small, let yourself ground and redrain your energy down. And open any sacred space you had created in your head. So that is my entire little ritual bead process. It is pretty quick. I mean, obviously, if you're doing it by yourself, y'all can unmute also, like, so we can discuss it, because I mean, that's kind of all, I mean, I was going to show you how to make these too on my little thing. But I mean, we've got forever. I did not say this class would take an hour. They just sort of did an hour. But I think it's a really nice thing to be able to just kind of do. You can do it in, 10 minutes, just sitting in your car, I mean, if you bring it in your bag or in your purse or something, and it helps you kind of go through. Obviously, you can do that meditation without beads. I just like them because they're pretty. And because it's a nice thing to like, I feel like a part of, I don't know, say the allure, I don't know, but part of the usefulness of having altars is that it helps you kind of key into that mentality and that state of mind, and I feel like you can sit down and like guide yourself through a meditation, but like physically having something to like take you through the meditation, I feel like just kind of helps you connect more. So I was going to make one of these as well on this other camera. So this is like part meditation, part crafting explanation. I don't know. Ugh. So let me get this out over here. Seriously, you can unmute. Like, did I mute people, or can you not unmute yourself?
Can unmute. If we unmute ourselves, then you might hear my child and my dog, and no one wants that.
That's lovely.
Myself included.
Same.
I had I just went to let my dogs out because they were whining because I'm on the computer like an unreasonable bitch instead of throwing the ball. Right.
Okay. Look here.
Yes.
Because this is going to be, I mean, like kind of less of a, if you've done beading, it's just beading, right? So if you've never done beading before, I don't know, can you guys see this okay? Like, I feel like this is not very zoomy.
Mm-hmm.
So these are my favorite types of, see, and it's like weird. Why is it like a weird, hang on. I had this sorted out earlier and it was all like level. Because I was wanting to, you like hit, why is it upside down? Now it's even more upside down.
It's fine.
Oh. What about now?
No, it's right side up.
So whenever I do beading, I like these little collapsible needles. I would murder the crap out of them though. So there's like this one is like totally messed up. I don't even know if you can even see these. You probably can't. Do you see how crazy it looks? They just get totally messed up. But we'll get out a little collapsible needle. And there's this cool string that you can get just in like the beading section. And it is actually like metal thread. It's pretty flexible though, and it works really well for stuff like this because it kind of gives it a little bit of shape. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain if you're not holding it. Like it's not just like loose like a bead, right? Like it's yeah. So it kind of holds the shape a little better, and I don't know, it feels better in my hands. I really don't know what else that would be used for. Maybe like that knitting, like where people like do the crochet stuff on the beads. Could be that. So then you just need beads for all of the stuff. So I did this one that I showed you for the actual thing was, I don't know if I'm like under this or not. Obviously I'm just threading this needle. This is not rocket science. Another thing I like about these collapsible needles, and I know this is like, there's no way for you to see this on here really, but the like hole for it is gargantuan. Like, you can't miss. So nice. Everybody muted again.
Got nothing to say.
So lonely.
We can see the beading, or I can see the beading needle just fine, actually.
Really? Yeah, maybe it's my computer.
Well, I pinned that screen to make it bigger, but
Okay.
I'm also really close to my screen.
I don't know if I can. Okay. So obviously you need a bead for each element. So we'll get that. And places like Michael's have like actual gemstone beads now, and it's really cool. Like, I mean, if you're crafty people, you probably already know this, but the first time I discovered it, I was like super psyched. Because like this is really sodalite, you know, like it's like an actual sodalite bead. They have cool stuff. I think these two are actually just kind of dyed agate. It's green and red, just dyed agate. And I'm actually not really sure what this one is, but like, because it wasn't really labeled, but it looks, gosh, it won't.
There.
It looks almost like pyrite to me, or like a gold druzy. Like it has like divots in it where you can see like a little bit inside pyrite. So this one I'm gonna do with crystally things instead of the hematite because I want to.
That's
There's
the reason.
no reason. I just saw these cute little glass shiny ones and was like, ooh, that's cool. I also am murdering a pinnacle necklace of mine to get the bead at the end. Well, it was like this weird, I didn't like the way the necklace like went together. So I've just been pilfering the bits of it for crafts. Basically,
Oh, good.
I bought it and I was like, I don't really like how this looks. And so I immediately began taking stuff off of it.
Recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pagan thing.
Yeah. Well, it was like one of those
There it
like
is.
bolo tie looking necklaces where like there's like a center and then like the little like things go through and like it just wouldn't stay in a position. It would always just go down to the bottom. And so it was, I don't know, whatever. I bought it off Wish. What did I expect? But at least it was like 30 cents, right?
I'll do it.
Well, I think it was free, and then the shipping was like $3. So I think all in all, it was like $3. Okay, so we got all of our bits. No, we are missing our deity bits.
Just the bits.
We need more bits.
The bits.
The bits, the bits. Give us the bits.
Okay, so I am gonna reuse these little pearls. I like goddess beads to be pearls because, again, I just like them. They could be whatever. You can also do different stuff, obviously. I think I said that earlier, but I mean, you could pick whatever you wanted. So you want to start with your elements. You want to start with the part around. I'm closing my mouth. So you start with these parts. Like you're making this first because this is going to have. I can't talk about it. This is going to have the string in there twice.
Okay.
Right? So like it's like looped like a fucking loop. I'm terrible at explaining things. You're making a loop. Okay. So we're gonna start doing that. So another reason why I love these like really long ones is because you could just stack the beads like on them. Can you even see that? I'm having a hard time determining where my camera actual thing is. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is where talking is great because just me counting beads onto a thing is right. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lovely, so lovely. All right, so this is gonna be like the back end, right? So like we're doing it. Actually, I mean, it doesn't really matter because it's a loop, so it could be reversible, but you just want them to be in. I care about the order that the elements are in. I guess like you don't necessarily have to care about the order that the elements are in, but I want them in the order that they would be like around a circle, right? So like I always do like earth, air, fire, water, right?
Makes sense.
Anyone? Bueller?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sounds good.
Okay, good. So glad. So you just throw them on there in that order, right? Got an earth one.
So I have a question.
Sure.
We were talking about Wish. I know they have a bunch of like witchy stuff on Wish. Is it worth buying it there, or should I go to another store?
Depends on what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
also, especially when you're talking about like stone beads and things like that, remember to check your local pagan store too if you have one, because it's nice to support them. If we want to have nice pagan stores, we have to support the nice pagan stores. And they do a lot of times have things. I personally like to touch my stones before I buy them. And you can't do that on Wish.
It's true. I've had I mean, there's been a few good things I've gotten off Wish that were like not related to pagan things, you know, that were like random stuff, like this like plastic toothbrush holder that like suction cup to the wall. It was exactly what it was supposed to be, and it works great. Suction cup was functional.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm done with the actual, I don't know if you can see. I'm almost done with the string part that's going to be the bit. I've just got one more set of chakra beads left. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last one. Huzzah. Okay. So, I mean, obviously, I feel like I'm just like explaining some like real obvious stuff, but you could also like tie a knot in between every single one of these beads. Just by the way, so that if you ever break this, it's not just like crazy
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you are prone to breaking things, maybe do that. So I like to go ahead and tie a knot here. I'm going to take my little needle off. So I want to have it pretty tight. Sorry, I got to like lift it to do this. There's a finesse. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The weight helps it pull, right? Because this metal string is a little bit weird. If you like get too like crazy with it and pull it, it'll just like kink up right where you're pulling it and won't actually like go down into the knot. All right, so we got a knot. We've got our beautiful crystalline meditation beads. So then I pop the needle thing on both of them. I'm going to even up my stringies there. And it can be a little ridiculous to get the beads through both strings. And if you were using just like regular string, it probably would be a lot easier. But I'm not. That one's like super easy, but. All right, so keep our stuff straight. And we pop our deity beads on. These are the ones that I always have trouble with. It's because these little pearls are so tight. Boom. And then we are basically done. So you have like a couple of things you can do to finish it off. I like putting the pentacle on the bottom, but you could also at this point just get a crystal and just sort of wrap the crystal at the bottom, which looks really nice. And I made one for a silent auction that I donated that was done that way, and it looked really cool. So then you just want to tie off at the bottom. So again, I'm going to pick it up to do that because I really just can't do it when it's flat. And just make sure all your strings are done. You can also run the string back through. I don't know if I'm explaining that, but like run the string back up through this again, and then like tie it off again at the top. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that your ends are not just like down here.
They also make the tiny little metal crimp things that work with the metal string that I like a lot. Though I end up usually like I'll do one of them and then still run it back through.
Yeah. This other one I have is run back through. It's just really difficult. The reason why that other needle was like super screwed up was because like I wound up like taking it with my teeth to like pull it through. Because it can
Never
really
underestimate the power of teeth.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I paid good money for these teeth. But that's it. That's my whole thing.
Yay.
That's cool.
Yay.
This is a
Yay.
little,
It is very pretty. Love
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
little thingy. When are we doing the like giveaway thing or the swappy thing?
4 or 5.
It's today. Okay, well, I'm gonna put this one that we just made for the giveaway thing. So if anybody wants it, because I already have one.
Cool.
But now I have a backup one, and what it's glass and pretty.
See, I love wearing jewelry. I just have to cleanse it all the time. It takes so many, I guess, I don't know if it's because I'm such an empath or whatever. It just takes so many blows for me and absorbs so much energy. I eventually get tired of cleansing them all the time.
Just like keep a bowl of like salt water on your dresser, and then just when you come home, just be like,
Oh my
"Woo,
God.
what a day!"
That's a great
it up.
idea. Thank you.
Just every day.
Dip it.
I had my ex-husband gave me this really pretty like amethyst thing, and this was like a year after we were divorced, and like I know that he was like trying to think of something that like I would, I don't know, want. It was like the best gift he ever had given me after the fact. And I like didn't want to be like petty and be like, I don't want this, because I was like, man, this is really pretty. Like this is a really pretty like amethyst thing. And I left it in a jar of salt water, like sitting in my kitchen for probably a month, because I was just like, no, it's not ready yet. No, it's
Oh no.
I think I had a lot of emotional ties with it as well that were under
Yeah.
the poor stone, but it went through
Oh man, I have an herbal
like,
concoction that would
before
blast that
I
fucker.
finally was like, okay, like I can work with this now.
There was one piece of stone that I had to boil in salt water before I felt like it was okay to use.
I didn't think about boiling it.
I don't recommend it with everything, but like this was rose quartz, so
Amethyst can be weird with its coloring sometimes. I'm not gonna
yeah.
I want a cigarette, so I mean, you don't have to leave, obviously, but I'm gonna take you with me. Yes, well, we don't start. And I've got like 10 minutes before Jason will be back home with the kids. We're in my dirty house. We are moving, and it's crazy.
Another question. I'm super new at this. What can you put in, like, how? Because I know some of them you could like wet, and some of them you can't. So I was just wondering, which ones are the ones that you can cleanse with water and moon and whatever, sun?
I think selenite is one that you can't leave in water for a long time. You can for
Selenite will
short.
melt.
Yeah.
Selenite will melt with the quickness.
I put it to the test before. I think it takes a while, really. I think overnight should definitely be fine. Does anybody have any different experiences with that?
Yeah.
Take forever.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that I knew that selenite dissolved.
Selenite is pretty much self-cleaning though, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I've only ever put oils on my selenite. I have like a flat, smooth one, and I think I've just like put oils down it.
I have a large chunk of selenite that I got for like $5, you know, big enough to just beat someone to death. And yeah, right. It broke in half, and I put the two separate ends like on either side of the doorway to my bedroom, and I swear now, like every time I walk through my door, it feels like I'm getting zapped. It's a good zap though. It's nice.
That's cool. That's a pretty good idea.
I don't know
So
if it would though.
Yeah. I don't-
me and Philip Marsh, the owner of the witchy store here in Montgomery, got into a debate about selenite and water, and to prove me wrong, he put selenite in water and kept it in it for like a month, and it wore down, but he refused to admit that he was wrong. So but it took a while for it to be like really noticeable, because like the next week after he initially put it in, I went in and it you couldn't really tell, but after a month you could. So but I don't know, not, I would assume not all selenite is made equal, so some might dissolve quicker than others,
Yeah, it's like, especially if they're smaller pieces, because I made the mistake whenever I was Babu Witch and put like a little piece of selenite in water because I was gonna cleanse it, and it just disintegrated like sugar, like a sugar cube. It was gone.
Dang.
Hard lesson learned.
Mm-hmm.
It just really depends. No, dude, like that's cool. I guess just it depends. I know,
love
like
it.
if you put like amethyst or rose quartz in the sun, it's gonna fade. If you put like selenite in water, it tends to like dissolve. You just gotta be careful. Just do your research on whatever ones you want to use.
Did you say amethyst in the sun fades?
Over time, yes.
I did not know that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Like I like the rich, dark, can't even see through purple kind of amethyst. And I had a friend that kept on like wearing hers every day, and then it started slowly fading. So yeah.
Yeah, I have an amethyst that has like one side that's basically clear now because that side faced the rising sun. And so like that side of it is basically clear and the other side is still really dark purple.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think.
Probably so.
I guess if all else fails, just use the moon, and some people use sound, like the little singing bowls and stuff. So there you go.
One weird fact about stones that I found out is that smoky quartz apparently is irradiated. They used to apparently calibrate Geiger counters with smoky quartz.
Really?
Neat.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of precious stones are too, because like ruby and emerald are basically the same thing, just like they're just different pressures and different carbon content, and then one of them is irradiated and one. Also, sapphire, I think, is the same. Also, the same basic compound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Can I just say that I miss you people?
You can.
Yeah.
It's really good getting to see people's faces.
Yeah.
Hate all of you. I hate every single one of you.
I knew it.
We hate you
Thank-
too,
thank
Mason.
you.
We hate you so much.